Hey everyone, Glenn Orgin here. Let's get something out of the way right now. Thinking about how to get rich can be downright scary, like scared shitless, kind of scary. But fear not, because today we're diving deep into the world of wealth creation. This video was inspired by the book The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, and we're adding some groundbreaking insights you need to know. Let's get started. Money. Some have it, some don't. Some have mastered it. Most are still chasing it. You may be thinking of money as just numbers, spreadsheets, and math, or an equation that needs to be solved. But the real financial decisions are made far away from calculators around dinner tables, where ego, pride, fear, and personal history come into play. The true nature of money is a dance between the cold arithmetic of a spreadsheet and human nature. When it comes to money, we are complicated creatures, and financial success is not so much about how much you know, but how you behave. So let's talk about the financial DNA. We all come from different generations, with parents earning different incomes and holding different values, living in various parts of the world, born into different economic environments with varying incentives and opportunities. Our experience towards money are vastly different. For example, the stock market and inflation. People born in 1970 saw an almost tenfold increase in the S&P 500 during their teens and 20s, leading most to have a positive view of the stock market and a higher inclination to invest. People born in 1950 saw the stock market go nowhere in their teens and 20s, leading to a more negative view of the stock market and less inclination to invest. People born in the 60s experienced significant inflation during their teens and 20s, leading to a higher awareness, a more negative view of inflation and its effects. People born in the 90s experienced relatively low inflation, and during their lifetime leading to less concern and awareness of its effects. A person's experience with the stock market and inflation during their formative years greatly shapes their attitudes and behavior towards investing and financial decision making. People justify every financial decision they make based on the information they have at that moment and their mental model of the world, which has been passed on to them from their parents and is shaped by their unique life experiences. Although they can be misinformed, lack information, or make bad decisions, their actions make sense to them in that moment and align with their own personal story. According to Housel, people do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. We all have unique worldviews, and since there is no universally correct way to manage money successfully, none of us are crazy. We make financial decisions based on our personal life experiences and our worldview. Let's talk about the compound king. There's no doubt Warren Buffett is considered one of the greatest investors of all time. What is staggering is that 81.5 billion of Warren Buffett's 84.5 billion net worth was earned after he reached his mid-60s. Housel explains that few pay enough attention to the simplest fact. Buffett's fortune isn't due to just being a good investor, but being a good investor since he was literally a child. As a result of investing from early age of 10, Buffett was able to harness the power of compounding. Let's say you invest $1,000 at an interest rate of 8%. Your initial investment would earn you $80 after 1 year. If you compounded your total of $1,080 at 8% interest the next year, you would earn $86.40. You've earned money on your investment as well as the interest you earned on the principal. An investment compounded over time gains interest not only from the original investment, but also from the interest generated on top of the original investment. The counterintuitive nature of compounding makes many of us not realize how extreme the results can be. Compounding, however, can help you earn more money over time. Warren Buffett began serious investing at age 10 and had a net worth 1 million by age 30. Let's imagine an alternate reality where Warren Buffett behaved more like most young men in their 20s and used a lot of his early income on traveling on a few nice cars as well. If he started with a net worth of $25,000 at age 30 and retired at 60, but continued to generate the amazing returns of 22% annually, his net worth today would be around $11.9 million. That's 99% less than his actual net worth of today of $84.5 billion. Warren Buffett's financial success can be attributed to the financial base he built in his early years and his longevity in investing. His skills in investing, but his secret to success is time and the power of compounding. Consider this from another perspective. The richest investor of all time is Warren Buffett. However, in terms of average returns, he is not the greatest. Jim Simons, for instance, is a hedge fund manager who has compounded money at a staggering 66% annually since 1988, a much higher rate than Buffett. The net worth of Simons, however, is $21 billion, which is 75% less than Buffett's. How is this possible? Well, according to Housel, the reason for this is that Simons wasn't able to find his stride in investing until he was 50 years old, effectively giving him half as many years to compound as Buffett. Housel estimates that if he had invested over a time frame as long as Buffett, his net worth today would be 63 quintillion 900 quadrillion 781 trillion 780 billion $748,160,000. It's important not to underestimate the power of compounding, no matter how counterintuitive the results of compounding may seem. They should never be ignored. Optimism is a belief that the odds of a good outcome are in your favor over time, even if there are setbacks along the way. But when it comes to money, we all have a bias towards pessimism that we hold dear in our hearts. Looking back, however, things have generally improved over the years. So what is it about the pessimism that we are inclined to embrace rather than optimism? The answer is because good things take time and don't happen overnight. Money is a subject that attracts pessimism for a variety of reasons. Let's start with the fact that money matters to all of us. When we hear about something bad happening in the economy, we're more likely to pay attention. So for example, a 40% decline in the stock market over 6 months is likely to attract attention immediately and may even attract government intervention. However, the incremental nature of a 140% gain over 6 years can go largely unnoticed. Every year, 500,000 Americans' lives are saved by the progress of medicine over the last 50 years. Slow progress, however, attracts less attention than quick. Sudden losses such as terrorism, plane crashes, and natural disasters. There are many overnight tragedies, but few overnight miracles. To be practical, we don't have to be pessimistic. Despite setbacks, we can hold on to the belief that over time, the odds of positive outcome are in our favor. When watching the news highlighting a stock market crash and economic woes or other money problems, try to remember that things tend to improve over time. So there are two forgotten elements. In 1968, there were roughly 300 million high school age people in the world. And of those 300 million, 300 students attended a small school in Seattle called Lakeside. Lakeside happened to be the only high school in the world at the time that had a professor with the foresight to lease a computer, the Teletype Model 30. This was no ordinary computer. It was advanced for the time and the type of computer that even graduate students didn't have access to. And for one lucky student at Lakeside, this would change everything. That student was Bill Gates. From 300 million to 300. In 1968, there was roughly a 1 in a million chance of being a high school student with access to a computer. Bill Gates and his schoolmate Paul Allen would go on to create Microsoft together. Even as a teenager, Gates showed exceptional intelligence, hard work, and a vision for computers unlike anyone else. But going to Lakeside also gave him a 1 in a million competitive advantage and a head start. And Gates is not shy about this. In 2005, he said, if there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft. What is not often mentioned in the early Microsoft story was a third member of his gang of high school computer prodigies, Ken Evans. Just as intelligent and just as visionary, Ken would very well have been one of the founders of Microsoft alongside Gates and Allen. However, that would never happen. A mountaineering accident took Ken's life before he graduated high school. The odds of a high school student being killed in a mountaineering accident are around 1 in a million. Just as the extremely rare stroke of luck would propel Bill Gates and Paul Allen to great success, Kent Evans would experience an extremely rare event and an encounter with what Housel calls the close sibling of luck, risk. Luck and risk are like the wind and the waves that determine the course of a sailboat. The sailor can control the rudder and the sails, but ultimately the direction and the speed of the boat are influenced by external factors that cannot be fully predicted or controlled. The pursuit of success is full of twists and turns, and the role of luck and risk play in shaping our lives is an important perspective to keep in mind. So I want to thank you for watching the video. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you found this information helpful, and please share it with anyone that you think it should be shared with. Anyway, see you in the next one.